Hi friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. Today's video is gonna be a little 2 looks with 2 palettes. I posted a 3 looks, 3 palettes about a week ago, one of the palettes being the Hidden Piece by Titanium Foxes. So much fun to use. And in this video, when I was talking about this one, I mentioned the other 2 palettes that I'd received from the brand and asked about your interest in seeing those in action as well. The comments were pretty overwhelming that you wanted to see videos with them, and not even one in particular. It was a pretty mixed bag between both palettes. And honestly, I couldn't decide which palette to use next either, so I figured let's do a 2 looks, 2 palettes and play with them both. So in this video, I'll be playing with the Grackle Chat and the Poppy Storm from Titanium Foxes. I'm really excited. I'm so thankful to be finally trying this brand. I'm so thankful they sent these to me. I've been very impressed so far. I still have more to play with, but so far it's been really nothing but a great experience. As the title would suggest, I'll be doing 2 looks. I'll be doing 1 look with each palette. I'll also be doing close-up swatches, all that good stuff. I do also intend on doing additional looks over on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts, so those will be coming soon if they're not already posted by the time this goes up. I feel like that's all I really wanted to say for now, so let's just hop in and get to swatching these palettes. First up is the Grackle Chat. This one definitely stood out to me. I think it's so pretty. I am really mesmerized by these shimmers. I think the colors are really cool. Everything's very moody and murky, but it's still colorful, which if you know me at all, that's one of my favorite combos, when something can be kind of grungy, murky, but still colorful. I feel like this really captures that just so well. Really gorgeous shades, really pretty shifty shimmers. Really impressed by this so far. It's actually the one I'm wearing right now, and if I do say so myself, this came out very cool. And next is the Poppy Storm. This one's also very just moody. It's giving very fall vibes, which I'm always living for. I'm really excited to dive into this. As I'm filming this intro, I have not played with this one yet, but I'm really excited to dive into it. It's so pretty. I love how we have these very vibrant red shades, but also just lots of moodiness throughout. This dark blue, I think, adds a really nice contrast to everything. It is such a cool combo. Okay, hi, real quick, future Betty Jean popping in after look number 2. I was sitting down to edit and get this video scheduled, and I was working on description boxes, and I realized that unfortunately neither of these palettes are really available. I'd mentioned in the actual intro before I inserted myself right now that I did see that the Poppy Storm was getting discontinued. It had very limited quantity. As of right now, there is still some on the website, but I don't know how long it's gonna be around, but this one unfortunately is getting discontinued. And I thought that the Grackle Chat was just available in general, but unfortunately that one's already gone. That one must have gotten discontinued just without my knowledge, so sorry about that. Both of these palettes are essentially not available. But we can just truly take this video as just purely makeup inspiration, testing out this brand. Like I mentioned, I did play with the Hidden Piece in last week's 3 looks, 3 palette, so if you want to see a palette that is available in action, there it is. But honestly, in the spirit of maybe you aren't trying to shop for makeup and just want inspiration, this is the perfect video for that because you literally can't get these anyway. So sorry I didn't realize that sooner, but hopefully you can still find value in this. Maybe you already own these palettes and want to see them in action. I'm personally not opposed to using makeup that isn't available anyway. I own things that just don't exist anymore, and I don't want to never use them again just because they aren't available to shop, because I still want to play with them. But I know that I'll probably get some people that are sad that I'm playing with 2 palettes that you can't really shop for, but I just wanted to insert myself really quick here and give you that update. But anyway, now that that's all out of the way, those are the 2 palettes I'm going to be playing with. Let's hop into the looks and we will reconvene at the end to see what my thoughts are so far. Hello, let's get into this first look. Today I want to play with the Grackle Chat. It's just so pretty. I've been so attracted to this shade ever since I got this palette in my hands, so that's going to be a big focus of this look. I want to do a very big winged look, blown out lower lash line, just all the things. It's gonna be so good. As far as my accessories for this look, I just have these earrings, and unfortunately I don't have details. I got these at a plant shop near Baltimore when I was visiting Linda a year ago, so don't know the exact seller. But anyway, let's just hop into this first look. I'm gonna start by priming with my Sigma eyeshadow base and Ignite. I'm just gonna smear this on and blend it out. I hope you are doing well, by the way. I'm getting ready for work today. It is Thursday and I'm excited. It's gonna be a good day. I'm excited to play with this palette, hang out with you, head to the salon. It's gonna be good. Also have my iced matcha and my cute little witchy anthropology glass. I feel like Things are bright today, things are bright. So I do want to start with just a light little layer of Riverbank, this gray, just to be kind of a subtle background behind the big wing that I put down. Just taking a really small amount on this big fluffy brush from Jolie Cosmetics, and I just want to lightly sweep this from inner to outer corner in my crease. This isn't going to be a big moment or anything. It's just going to be a little bit of a background color for when I place that giant wing, just so that there's a little something back there and it's not just bare skin. So for my giant wing, I'm going to use this e.l.f. gel liner. You can use any gel liner. You could just do no base. I actually do this big wing technique a lot, and I used to pretty much exclusively do it with a base. Lately, I've been doing it with no base, so you can do it either way. Just today, I really want that pop-in base behind everything. I'm going to use this little smallish flat brush from Lethal Cosmetics. This is a 215. So I kind of place some on my lid and I look up so that it can transfer a little bit so I can see where my eye naturally like goes, just because that's going to be my basis of where I put this. Actually, I'm not liking this brush for this. I feel like it's flaring out as I work. So instead, I'm actually just going to use this flat angled brush from Unearthly. It's an 8-10. I'm going to kind of start drawing a little bit of this wing shape in the outer corner. I am cool with it kind of creeping up from the lower lash line rather than just the outer corner, if that makes sense. Taking it about halfway up, and then I'll start inching it in toward the crease. And I want it to just kind of flow and match with that line that got transferred onto my lid from before. I'll kind of do the same to the front. Just sort of drag it up and over. Doesn't have to be completely perfect and smooth since the goal is to cover this with shimmer anyway, but I do want it to be roughly where everything is gonna end up being, just kind of forming an outline for it. So just slowly kind of meeting in the middle there where I had that transfer from before. And kind of swooping that down. I feel like I'm kind of liking the shape today. It kind of goes up and then curves like down and out a little bit. I think that's pretty. Sometimes I make it more like structured outwards, but I'm kind of liking this. It's almost like a slightly downturned wing with this, and I think that's kind of a cool shape. So now I'm just gonna sloppily fill this in with the rest of the black and make the other eye match as close as possible. We'll see how that goes. Sisters, not twins, that's for sure. Okay, roughly as close as I'm gonna get them to being as symmetrical as possible. Now, before I go in with my shimmer, I do want to add some of my glitter primer. This is the NYX glitter primer. I use this all the time with every shimmer because it helps it pop really nicely and also stay put. I'm taking this obnoxiously large flat packing brush from Illamasqua and popping this across my lid, just a very thin layer of it. So I want flashing feathers all over the lid, just covering everything that I just did. Look how pretty that is. It goes from like a purple to a teal. It is, ooh, that is so pretty. I've been really impressed with this brand's shimmers so far. They're so, so pretty. So yeah, literally just going to carefully cover everything, and that's pretty much it. As far as the main part before I start smoking out the lower lash line and adding more shimmer accents and stuff like that. But yeah, literally just gonna cover everything, just filling in the lines. I'm in love. It's so pretty. So, so pretty. It's gorgeous. I wanna work on the lower lash line now, so I'm gonna start by smoking out a black eye pencil. This is Swerve from ColourPop. I'm just gonna load this up all up in my waterline. Honestly, actually only the outer, like half. Because I think I want a different eye pencil covering most of my waterline, but I just wanna get this kind of laid in this like outer half in the waterline and right on the skin to start smoking things out. So to smooth that out, I'm gonna take See You Tomorrow, this matte black. I'm just gonna take that on this Blend Bunny B3 brush, and I'm just gonna kind of run that right on top of that outer half and just kind of smudge that out a little bit just to make it a little bit softer so it's not just like choppy eyeliner look. Make that a little bit more smooth. Kind of drag that toward that wing a little bit as well, kind of inch that in there. And just get it a little bit softer. I'm gonna take Winter Blood now to help just blend that out even more and smoke it out. I'm gonna use this AB5 brush from Sigma and Angela Bright. It's like a little bit of a fluffier but still small brush. And I'm just gonna take this dark purple shade and just start doing little swirls right on this outer part of that black that I've laid down. And really focusing it in this outer corner. I don't want it to like go straight down. I want it to be more angular. Again, kind of fading toward that like wing a little bit, but a lot of this focus just on this lower outer corner, just to get it a little bit softer, very moody. I like that kind of draped look. I think it's so pretty. I love how moody this is looking. It's so pretty. I do want this crawling light shade right here on that front part of the lower lash. I'm gonna use this Sigma E30 brush and just sort of press that in that lower inner corner. Not like my complete inner corner, because I'll use a different shade to actually highlight my inner corner, but this lower pocket of that lower lash line on the inner portion, and kind of fade that toward all that purple. That is so twinkly and pretty. Wow. This is such a cool look. I love it. And last but not least, I want to take Squirrel, this bright, sparkly white for the actual inner corner. I'm going to take this L02 from Blend Bunny and Lynn's Makeup Looks, and I'm just going to pop that right there in that inner corner. Ooh, that is so bright. That is so pretty. Just for fun, maybe I'll also highlight my brow bone. Sometimes I'm just in the mood to do this. I don't do it every time, but sometimes I just feel like it calls for it, and today feels like that day. Okay, through on my lashes, these are the Black Moon Pisces lashes. And the eye pencil I used is Power Trip from ColourPop. I just kind of covered everything in my waterline, so blended into that black that was in the outer corner and covering the rest, but it literally matches this lid perfectly. It goes from like a teal to a purple. So good. For the lips today, I want something just kind of nudie, so I'm gonna start with the Cashmere pencil from Nomad Cosmetics. I'm just gonna line, and we'll move on to lipstick. All right, got that pencil on. I love this pencil, it's so good. And for lips, I wanna use the Unearthly Cosmetics and Kourtney Quarantine collab in the shade Secrets. Such a good, cool tone nudie shade. I love. Well, I really like it with this cashmere pencil too. Just kind of blurring those two shades together. I really like that combo. I think that's nice. Here's how the first look turned out. I love this. I think it's so pretty. I've been so intrigued to play with this eyeshadow, the one that's all over my lid. It's such a good color. It's so shifty and so pretty. I love the moodiness of all of it. I think this is great. I love it. We're gonna see what happens with look number 2, but this is gonna be a tough look to beat. This is really good. I feel like I'm in my true form, but let's move on to look number 2 and see what happens. Hello, let's get into this second look. I'm really excited to dive into the Poppy Storm. It's so pretty. I'm really attracted to this swampy green. I feel like I've mentioned this blue multiple times since like laying my eyes on this palette. I'm also really attracted to this multi-chrome. Kind of goes from a red to a green. So I feel like we can maybe do something with all of that. But as far as my accessories for today, these earrings are from Windlestraw Studio. This ring is Ana Luisa, this ring is Rebel Rose, and I don't know where this ring is from. So anyway, let's get into this look. I want to do something just very blown out, very smoky, dark, moody. I feel like that's just what these palettes are calling for, honestly. Not to say you can't do a lighter look with these, because you could, but I just feel like the dark tones in them are just screaming to be used. Just using that Sigma eyeshadow primer in Ignite again, and I am blending this across my lids, and then we are gonna get started. I'm so ready. So I'm gonna start with Water Bomb, this dark blue. I'm gonna use this Arttitude Cosmetics pencil brush. This is a number 7, and I'm just gonna really stamp this in the outer corner. Just taking a little bit at a time and just really packing it on. Blending it up. Not like completely toward the tail of my brow because I want room to blend, but in that direction. I'm also gonna take and pop some of this on that lower lash. Actually, I might use a really dark blue eye pencil to smoke out with this as well. I think that could be a good combo, so I think I'll do that next. So I'm gonna take this Outer Space pencil from ColourPop. It's like a metallic dark blue, and I'm gonna run that all up in my waterline and kind of drag it down just a little bit, like onto my skin, similar to like how I did with the black in look number 1. Just kind of take and press that up in there, connect it toward that outer corner. Take a little bit more of Water Bomb on that same pencil brush and just kind of drag that over the pencil just to soften it a little bit before I start going in with my other blending shades. Yeah, I'm really glad I did that. I feel like just that dark blue liner, it's good. So let's start blending this blue now. I want to take Poppy Loading, this swampy green. I'm gonna use this small blending brush from Cosmetica. This is an E02, and I'm just gonna start here. The lower outer corner. Start very lightly. As you can see, I'm just doing very soft little kind of swirly motions. I'm using very light pressure. I'm holding the end of my brush that I'm not having a lot of pressure. I find when I'm like choked up on the brush, like I can be really aggressive with it. If I intentionally hold the end of my brush, it kind of forces me to have a lighter touch, and therefore, in my opinion, in my experience, a better blend. I like just a Little tip for you if you haven't tried that before. Just smaller strokes. Like, yeah, it might take you, in theory, a little bit longer because you're using less pressure, but I feel like the result ends up being better. And I feel like slow and steady is just the way to go. That is so pretty. I love this green flowing alongside of this blue. I think that's so, so good. And I think to finish off the blend, I kind of want to use Summer Thunder, this very pale yellow. I think that could be a really nice just kind of finish on this. I'm gonna use this Clionadh in Bad to the Brow blending brush. It's still a smaller blending brush, but it's bigger than the Fantasy Cosmetica one I just had. And I'm just, again, taking a really light amount. Nothing too crazy. Like, this isn't gonna appear super yellow, but I think it's just gonna add that little extra touch of warmth on this outer rim and just help soften everything just a tad bit more, which I think will be quite lovely with this. I think this is looking so cool. Let's move on to some shimmer now though, going in with that NYX Glitter Primer again. Just gonna take some of that on my finger. I'm just gonna plop a light little layer of this across my lids. And then I wanna take that Poppy Lava shade, that really cool like green-red multi-chrome. I just think that's gonna be such a fun combination with everything else that I've done so far. This is a really smooth multi-chrome. I feel like there's, you know, different textures of shimmers. There's the ones that are more flaky. There's the ones that are more like emollient. There's the ones that are more just like toppery. And then there's like the smooth multi-chrome-y ones. Obviously there's also just traditional metallics, but this is one of those just smooth multi-chromes. It's not like a chunky, sparkly shimmer. It feels very just like thin, but in a good way. Not thin as in no pigment. That's so pretty. It's like murky in all the best ways. Just gonna make sure that's flowing into this outer corner nicely. I like that. I feel like that complements so, so well. I'll also take and just make sure this is kind of blending into my skin nicely in the front. Let's see, what do I want on my lower lash line? Or do I maybe just not want anything? I feel like I do that often where I pop a little shimmer on the lower lash. And I feel like I'm gonna do it again. Maybe Welcomed Rain, this kind of tealy blue. That could be a nice little addition to go with this blue lower lash. So just in like this front little pocket, front inner corner of that lower lash. This is a Sigma E30 pencil brush. Just adding the tiniest little bit of a twinkle. Nothing too crazy, but I just feel like it adds just so much. I feel like that little bit of wet sparkle just, I don't know. It's good. For the inner corner, I want to go in with Shy Ray of Light, this just shifty, golden, sparkly shade. Just using this tiny brush from Gain Beauty. It is such a perfect little spotlight. It's so cute. You know what? Let's highlight the brow bone again. Why not? Maybe I'm entering my brow bone highlighting moment again. I'm just going in with my finger. Why not? Just really slather it on there. Yes. You know, I'm feeling some face gems today, so I might take this set from the D'Avrune and Andromeda collab, and I might take just some of these like lighter green ones because I feel like they match the swampiness kind of nicely, and just kind of scatter them around. Ooh, and maybe these black ones from D'Avrune as well. Maybe do kind of a mixture. I just feel like some gems might be fun. Just taking some different sized ones and just kind of like scattering. We are just gonna see what happens. Threw on my lashes. These are the Black Moon Pisces lashes, and also finished scattering those face gems, and I think they look so fun. I just did mostly a mixture of the black and that light green, but I did add a pop of emerald on the lower because I feel like it goes with that lower lash shimmer really nicely. But I think this is so cool. It's colorful and swampy, and I want to lean into the swampy more for my lips. So I'm gonna use my Black Moon Cosmetics Hazel Liquid Lip, and with it I'm gonna pair the Doom pencil from Unearthly. Literally can't stop wearing this pencil. I feel like it's the perfect dark brown when I basically want black, but not. And Lawnmower Man is doing the most outside right now, so while he does that, I'm just gonna line. All right, kind of filled in most of my lips. I left the middle blank and just kind of used my finger to blend it in. So now I'm gonna take the Hazel Liquid Lip from Black Moon. This has been one of my top favorites forever. It's just so cool. It's so cool. I feel like you obviously have to like a little bit of a weird lip, but I feel like because it's such a toned down, like olive shade, I feel like it almost works as a neutral. In my world, at least. I feel like especially when you pair it with a dark lip pencil, it's just so cool. So just kind of adding a good bit, and I'll use my finger to kind of blend it into that pencil. This lip with the dark brown pencil is This is an elite combo. I love this. Here is the final look complete. I really like how this turned out. I love all the murkiness, the swampy greens. I feel like it's flowing really well together. I like that it's so just murky and toned down, but there's still those splashes of color. It's very cool. I've had a great time playing with these palettes. I really enjoy this look. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out and watching. I had a great time playing with these palettes. I'm feeling very impressed with this brand's quality. I'm liking these color stories. I think they're fun. They're kind of chaotic, but in a good way. I feel like they get my creative juices flowing. The grackle chat is super, super special. I think this might be my favorite out of the 3 I've tried from them so far. There's just something about it. There's something about it that really appeals to me. I think it's just very autumnal, but there's also these pops of jewel tone. It's pretty. It's really pretty. I think these shimmers have really great quality. The mattes blended beautifully. I've had such a fun time. And the Poppy Storm today is super fun. Like I mentioned in the beginning, it seems like this one's getting discontinued pretty soon if it's not already by the time this video goes up, but this was still such a treat to play with. And again, I hope this can still at least serve as inspiration, whether it's something in your collection that might be similar, or you can pull out multiple palettes to do something similar, or maybe you happen to have this palette and just want to see it in action. But this was so fun to play with as well. Super, super pretty. I really like the balance of the kind of greenish with the reddish. I think it's a cool combo. So I feel like they managed to balance these tones really well without it feeling like Christmassy in my opinion, which is really hard to do. I think this is super, super cool and I've had a great time. I'm excited to play with these again for additional looks on like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. So again, stay tuned for that. And yeah, this has been fun. I would love to hear your thoughts. Have you tried this brand? Have you tried these palettes? I would love to chat down below. And also, which look was your favorite? I'm really struggling. I really, really like this look, but I think the first look was my favorite. It was so special. I felt so good in it all day. It was just a treat. If you made it to the end of this video, leave some fox emojis since we did play with Titanium Fox's palettes. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel out a lot. And if you're not already, you can hop over to my Instagram and TikTok. I'm BATTYBEAN over there. And you can also subscribe if you want to see more videos. You are also welcome to hop over to my second channel linked in my description box if you want additional content. And also my description box is a link to my channel memberships. There's a couple different tiers with a couple different perks and I would love to have you. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep watching, I'll pop a similar one on the screen. Thank you so much for being here and I will catch you in the next one.